The Home Secretary, Priti Patel, is considering controversial tactics to redirect some migrant boats back across the Channel. Officials are apparently being taught how to use so-called pushback methods against boats. It comes after a meeting with her French counterpart yesterday, in which Ms Patel said the British public expect to see results in bringing the numbers of crossings down. Earlier, I asked the Care Minister, Helen Whately, whether the government could ever legally decide to turn migrant ships around.
The government looks at all the options, but I think a really important thing, of course, is you wouldn't want to put people in any greater danger. They're taking a dangerous journey as it is, and what we want to do is actually deter them from starting that journey in the first place.
Are we going to turn the boats around?
There's nothing more I can say to you in that beyond knowing that the government is looking at all the options.
Do you think it's a good idea?
We'd be right to do that. I think one thing that's really important,
because it's against the law, of course, isn't it?
One thing that's really important is to think about the safety. Actually, we want, we don't want people to have any more danger on a journey they're taking to get here than they need to. But overall,
turning them round is not going to make it less dangerous.
What we want to do, well, I mean, overall, what we want to do is deter people from taking that route. But actually, we do want to help people who are fleeing. For instance, the people we're helping come from Afghanistan.
Of course, I get that.
15,000 have arrived from Afghanistan.
My question is about the Channel today. Of course, and I get that, and it was a fantastic job done by the RAF, as all of my viewers will know. But it's against maritime law to turn boats around. So why is the Home Secretary even suggesting it?
So what I know is that the government, the Home Secretary, is, as you'd expect, I think, looking at all the options. It's desperately difficult. I'm a Kent MP.
Including illegal ones.
And I know that migrants are turning up on the beaches not very far from my constituency. People see them arriving on many a warm day. So, of course, we should look at what are the options and do what's best. I think the really important thing here is the work that we're doing jointly with the French and to support the French to actually stop people leaving in the first place.
Tamara's here. So, Tamara, the government wants to turn boats around. Is that legal?
Well, what we've learned today, Kay, is that the Border Force have already been training for this for several months. Priti Patel authorised it for them to learn how to push back boats from UK, about to enter UK waters, into French waters for the French Coast Guard to pick up. And they believe it is legal in certain limited circumstances. Clearly, international law is that safeguarding life is the utmost priority above any country's migration policy. And actually, the French Interior Minister, who Priti Patel met with yesterday, wrote her a letter saying that that is absolutely the French interpretation of it and that they're not going to deviate from that. The Home Office have, over the last few months, commissioned legal advice which leads them to believe there are some circumstances where a boat is not judged to be unsafe and these tactics could be deployed. But clearly it's all incredibly high risk. It would be up to individual boat commanders to make these snap decisions about whether this could be done. It would be up to the French Coast Guard to then come and rescue the vulnerable people on that boat. And certainly there will be circumstances in which, people might jump off the boats and so on, which could make it really dangerous and deadly. So the Home Office are desperate to get a grip on the number of boats coming over to the UK illegally. Priti Patel has said it's a priority, an absolute priority for the British people, but her talks with the French do not seem to be yielding very much. All of her suggestions about a joint border force and so on have fallen off deaf ears. But what
about if everybody just jumped off the boat?
Well, that's the difficulty, and it will be up to individual boat commanders to do it, and you can imagine a tragedy occurring at sea.
Of course.
But they have taken legal advice which allows the Home Secretary to believe that Britain could go it alone and use some of these tactics.
OK, for now. Tamara, thanks very much indeed.